Your top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts Bringing Value Home. Magistrate blocks a fresh witness statement in election fraud trial. 3 police officers testify on day 25. Trial by public opinion. Magistrate MCGUSTY fires back at Guyana Police Force for its criticism over decision to grant bail. Region 1 mayor under investigation for sexual assault. Attorney writes top cop for an update on investigations. Rice farmers in PPP Stronghold Region 2 protest current paddy price. Paddy spoilage rampant across region. And in sport, Barbados Royals trump Amazon Warriors to retain women's CPL title. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm ALETHEA Grant with the Thursday 18 September 2025 edition of the HGP Nightly News. We will tell you this evening that Acting Chief Magistrate Faith MCGUSTY has shut down efforts by the prosecution to introduce a new witness statement in the 2025 elections fraud case, citing fairness to the defense as the trial marked its 25th hearing. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
Acting Chief Magistrate Faith MCGUSTY on Wednesday ruled against the prosecution in the ongoing 2020 general and regional elections case. The prosecution had applied in July to have witness Daniel Josh Kanai submit an additional statement, despite him already giving an initial statement earlier in the trial. In a ruling, Magistrate MCGUSTY highlighted that the matter has been before the court for 5 years and Kanai had already provided a statement around 2020-2021 where he recalled events on specific date. The prosecution, however, claimed that Kanai's recollection later expanded, leading to the creation of an additional statement. The magistrate emphasized that, as a matter of legal principle, the prosecution is obligated to disclose all witness statements to the defense in good time before trial. She stressed that this case is already in its second trial phase, and introducing new disclosures at this stage would place the defense at a disadvantage. She further explained that after reviewing relevant case law, she concluded that allowing the new statement, quote-unquote, at this particular time of the trial would result in substantial unfairness to the defense. As such, the court ruled that a fresh statement would not be admitted as part of disclosure. Meanwhile, 3 police witnesses also testified on Thursday. They were Romari Campbell, who in 2020 served as a constable attached to the Guyana Police Force, GPF, and worked as a crime scene examiner, fingerprint analysis, and police photographer, videographer. Kevin Brown, an investigator attached to the Major Crime Unit at the Criminal Investigation Department, CID, and Sergeant David Samnarine, who is stationed at the Guyana Police Force Academy. The matter is set to continue on Friday. The defendants are collectively facing 19 conspiracy charges related to alleged electoral fraud. The prosecution has indicated plans to call approximately 73 witnesses to support its case. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Meanwhile, Acting Chief Magistrate Faith MCGUSTY has pushed back against a public statement issued by the Guyana Police Force, having expressed, quote-unquote, grave disappointment over her decision to grant bail to a man accused of throwing a corrosive fluid on 2 women. The magistrate told an open court on Thursday that the statement was based on erroneous information and cautioned the force against what she described as trial by public opinion. Tiana Cole has that story.
Following the Guyana Police Force press statement, which expressed the grave disappointment over the granting of bail to a man charged with throwing corrosive fluid with intent, Acting Chief Magistrate Faith MCGUSTY on Thursday directly addressed the matter in court. She noted that it appeared that the Guyana Police Force had received erroneous information and stressed that the force would be better served by having someone appear before the court so they can have the correct information. The magistrate further suggested that investigations should be conducted in a more thorough manner with information properly filtered to prosecutors so they can present the court with facts. Quote unquote, I saw things in that statement that were never told to me in court, and yet it seems like it's trial by public opinion, MCGUSTY stated. She emphasized that her courtroom is not a place for a trial by public opinion. Highlighting her background, she reminded that she is a trained lawyer and a former prosecutor and would certainly never make a statement like that against any judge or any person in authority before whom she appears. MCGUSTY said she is now determined to ensure that every matter before a court is properly recorded to prevent misinterpretations of what was said and done in proceedings. On Wednesday, the Guyana Police Force had issued a release stating that, in light of what it described as an ever-increasing attack against women, it was gravely disappointed by the granting of bail to 33-year-old Kieron Daniels, who was charged with throwing corrosive fluid with intent against Jalacia Leach and Nirmala Sukraj. Daniels had appeared before Magistrate MCGUSTY at the Georgetown Magistrates Court and was initially remanded to prison for 1 day. He reappeared on Wednesday and was granted bail in the sum of $500,000. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Despite serious allegations of sexual assault leveled against a top official of Region 1, Burima Waini, that official is still holding on to that office while he was allowed to walk scotch-free. Travis Chase reports.
There is confirmation from the Guyana Police Force that the mayor of Mabaruma, Region 1, Trevor Leong, is under investigation for allegedly sexually assaulting a young lady on September 7, 2025. Head of the Corporate Communications Department of the Guyana Police Force, Mark Ramatar, would only say that the matter is still under investigation. Meanwhile, Nightly News understands that after the young lady reported the sexual assault to the police at Mabaruma, his worship was allowed to walk scot-free. The young lady reported to the police at Mabaruma that Long, quote, approached her and grabbed her breasts and tried to kiss her on her cheeks, unquote. The young lady recounted that after her boyfriend confronted the mayor allegedly punched him to the face. After 9 days of not hearing from the police on the matter, the young lady was forced to retain the services of prominent attorney-at-law U.C. Anderson, who has written to Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken regarding the status of the investigation. Attorney Anderson wants to know whether a criminal investigation has been launched against Long, and if so, into what offenses, whether Long is or was under arrest for the offense as complained by his client, and if so, is he on bail? Is Long charged or likely to be charged for the sexual assault and the physical assault of his client's boyfriend? And what is the status of the medical certificate of both his client and her boyfriend? Attorney Anderson told Mr. Hicken that a non-response by his office after the 22nd of September 2025 would be viewed as disinterest in discharging the duties of his office, and if such is to occur, appropriate action will be taken. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Join us after the break. We have more news for you.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover a solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc. Powering your life with elegance, quality.
Mom, did you tell him that Danny went to pick up KFC?
No, wait a minute. Are we really not going to tell him we already have KFC?
A tasty dinner shouldn't be that complicated. Crunch the routine and order a delicious KFC bucket for the best price. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
With the HGP Nightly News, elections of fraud cannot be seen with the naked eyes, and the Working People's Alliance says while the Guyana Elections Commission continues to prove it cannot be trusted, forensic audits are needed. Here is more.
The Working People's Alliance believes that the Guyana Elections Commission has validated its argument over the years that it cannot be depended on to deliver free and fair elections. Leader of the Working People's Alliance, Dr. David Hines, told a Wednesday afternoon press conference that given all that unfolded during the 2020 elections and the so far questionable recounts of at least 2 districts in the 2025 elections, GCOM has once again proven that it is a compromised institution.
Our argument that elections were not free and fair is not based on anything that is discernible to the naked eye, but it is implicit in the fact that the electoral system itself is rigged.
Dr. Hines, who was selected as a member of parliament for the Partnership for National Unity, believes that the Guyana Elections Commission continues to fail to live up to its constitutional mandate.
And you can't have a rigged electoral system and have free and fair elections. They're not consistent with each other. That if you have a bloated voters list, as we said, that list invites all kinds of skullduggery that can happen with the collusion of GCOM. That is, GCOM does not provide oversight in political parties.
It is the argument of the Working People's Alliance that only a forensic audit of the balloting, especially for the 2025 elections, would unearth acts of fraud.
And that is why Aubrey Norton wrote the GCOM chair and asked for a forensic audit that was similar to 2020, because it is only in that instance you can uncover whether there was fraud or not. Even in an elections petition, you are not likely to uncover fraud that took place before election day.
Asked specifically by Nightly News whether the WPA is in possession of any real evidence of fraud that may have taken place during the 2025 general and regional elections, Dr. Hines responded.
Yes, we do not have evidence with the naked eye, but the evidence lies in the flawed nature of the electoral architecture, the flawed nature of the electoral practice at GCOM.
No one from GCOM could be reached for a comment to address the allegations made by the WPA. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
In a passionate display on the issue of racism, the Working People's Alliance frontman Dr. David Hines believes the issue should be openly discussed. He believes he could not be considered racist given his activism for not just Afro-Guyanese, but all who are downtrodden. Marvin Cato is on that story.
The burden is not on me to change the image of myself. The definition of racist is someone who thinks that their race is superior to another race. I have never thought so, will never think so.
That was Dr. David Hines, leader of the Working People's Alliance, WPA, who would be representing his party in the Partnership for National Unity, APNU, in Parliament. Dr. Hines believes he can be categorized as one who has been marginalized over the years.
I am the victim of racism. Before I wake up in the morning, I'm a victim of racism because I'm an African. I come out of slavery. Racism was created to say the African is inferior.
He is of the view that discussions must be forthcoming to ensure understanding of the issue of racism before drawing conclusions.
It's ironic that people are saying one who's a victim, one who comes out of the victimhood of racism is a racist. No, I love my race.
Dr. Hines sees himself as a beacon of hope to young Afro-Guyanese who came from nothing and nowhere and through education was able to elevate himself and make positive contributions at home and abroad.
Racism means this color is inferior. This color is made up of criminals and scrapeheads. This color is made up of loose people who don't want to work, who are lazy.
In his conviction, Hines feels there is much more to give and he intends to give of his best in the National Assembly. His push will be geared towards getting the poor and downtrodden out of poverty.
And I'm fighting racism, but you see, racists don't like you to talk about racism. So they come out for us, you're a racist, but that doesn't stop me, right? I do not believe in the superiority of any race.
Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
In this Antonio Days report, Linden Mayor Sharma Solomon called out Prime Minister Brigadier Mark Phillips for recent utterances on the system that governs operations of the Mackenzie-Wismar Bridge. Solomon is adamant that the government should stop playing politics with the situation and own up to its responsibilities.
Linden Mayor Sharma Solomon, in response to what he dubbed misleading statements regarding the state of affairs of the Mackenzie-Wismar Bridge, said that the infrastructure is governed by legislation. On Thursday, Mayor Solomon explained to Nightly News that the bridge falls under the Mackenzie-Wismar Bridge Act. According to the Bridge Act, the neighborhood democratic organs collect the bridge toll, and the government, through the National Industrial and Commercial Investments Limited, is responsible for all bridge repairs and maintenance.
Whatever resources are accrued from the bridge, a percentage of that is related to the town council, and it has always been like that with the Bridge Act.
The mayor stated that it is misleading for the Prime Minister to state that the Linden Mayor and Town Council is responsible for the bridge and that any organization collecting money from the infrastructure is responsible for its maintenance. Solomon said that since the government's removal of the bridge toll in August of this year, it has not since engaged the Linden Mayor and Town Council on the way forward.
His government's continued refusal to engage and update the council in line with the Bridge Act as to what are the next steps, which would be the continuous functionality of the committee, which allows for the council's involvement.
The mayor further explains that in binding with the Mackenzie-Wismar Bridge Act, it was expected that there be continuous financial resources from the state until it announced the removal of the toll.
The maintenance, that in the removal of the toll, no indication was given, and to date we have seen where it has resulted in the deterioration and collapse of the bridge, and where it now poses a danger to life, limb, and property.
A young mother and her 3-year-old son were injured on Sunday, September 14, when a section of the McKenzie-Wismer Bridge collapsed beneath them. Solomon said that rather than playing politics, the government must own up to its responsibilities.
Here it is an opportunity for both central and local government to ensure that they put in place measures to bring about the safety for the public and to ensure that the bridge remains usable by ensuring it's properly maintained. I think that is the first approach that the Prime Minister could have approached this matter.
Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
We have more news for you after this break. Stay with us.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
It's sippy out. It's sippy out time. Sippy away on. Man, girl and boy. Feel the sippy and joy from every nation. In the Caribbean, larger than life. We're building legends in this Caribbean nation. We're all in. It's sippy out time.
We're all in. Republic Bank, title sponsor and official bank of the Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League.
Mom, did you tell him that Danny went to pick up KFC?
No, wait a minute. Are we really not going to tell him we already have KFC?
A tasty dinner shouldn't be that complicated. Crunch the routine and order a delicious KFC bucket for the best price. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
With the HGP Nightly News, as we continue, the battle between the Guyana Teachers Union and the Ministry of Education has returned to the High Court. The case, once again before Justice Sandil Kisoon, centers on the ministry's failure to deduct union dues from the teachers' salaries, a matter the judge had already ruled unconstitutional. Jada Joan reports.
Justice Sandil Kisoon has recused himself from hearing the contempt case filed by the Guyana Teachers Union and the Guyana Trades Union Congress against senior government officials, including Attorney General Anil Nandalal and Minister of Finance Dr. Ashni Singh. Legal counsel for the GTU, Darren Wade, said his client's returning to the courts was necessary.
Ministry of Education filed an application for a few government officials to be committed to prison for contempt of court, failure to adhere to the court order.
However, according to the GTU and GTUC, officials, including regional executive officers in Region 2, 4, 5, and 6, have disregarded the court's directives. They argued that the officials refused to process deductions and remit payments amounts to a flagrant and deliberate defiance of the judicial authority of the court and a reckless disregard for the rule of law. The unions are calling for the strongest sanctions possible, including committal to prison against the Attorney General, the Finance Minister, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education, and several REOs. Attorney at Law Darren Wade even mentioned that there is also biasness that occurs and that he is not the mediator.
The Attorney General contended that he is biased when they look at his ruling, the language used in his ruling, and that he serve as a mediator.
Meanwhile, in a letter to the court's registrar, Attorney General Nandalal contended that Justice Kisoon should not preside over the matter, since the contempt proceedings are directly tied to his own prior rulings. He argued that a fair-minded observer could reasonably conclude that the judge might subconsciously strive to conclude that his orders were violated, undermining the principles of natural justice. Following this objection, Justice Kisoon recused himself and referred to the matter acting Chief Justice Navindra Singh. It will now be up to the acting Chief Justice to determine whether to take up the matter himself, reassign it to Justice Kisoon, or refer it to another judge. Attorney Darren Wade, representing the GTU, has welcomed the continuation of the case despite the recusal. He stressed that the unions are determined to pursue accountability, noting that the repeated non-compliance strikes at the very heart of the administration of justice and violates the constitutional rights of teachers across the country. The case is expected to resume shortly under the direction of the acting Chief Justice, with both sides preparing for the next round of arguments in what has become one of the most closely watched industrial relations disputes in recent years. Jada Ju reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Antonio Day tells us that although a partnership for national unity may not serve as the main opposition in Parliament, it can still effectively challenge and hold the government accountable. This was the message delivered by Riaz Rupnarayan, who is among the party's youthful parliamentary representatives.
Riaz Rupnarayan, who has been an educator and youth advocate for several years, is among the 12 youthful parliamentary representatives for the Partnership for National Unity. The new Member of Parliament, in an exclusive interview with Nightly News, who hails from Jacklow, Pomeroon, Region 2, said his main focus is to represent the will of the Guyanese people, especially those in his community. Although Region 2 is not an APNU stronghold and the party is not the main opposition at the parliamentary level, Rupnarayan noted that this will not prevent him from duly representing that constituency.
Even though for the very first time we will be a minority in the opposition, I feel as though representation in the National Assembly is not just arithmetic about the numbers, but it's about actually holding the government accountable.
The young leader, who is a holder of degrees in international relations, educational leadership, and international law and diplomacy, referenced to instances where minority parties are effective, particularly in Commonwealth jurisdictions.
It has been done within other Commonwealth countries, where smaller parties have held the policies of the government accountable for every action that they would have done. And I feel confident that we'll still be able to do so, despite the disadvantage of not holding the main opposition.
Rupnarayan, whose main focus will be the promotion of equitable education and border security for riverine communities in the wake of the ongoing Guyana-Venezuela controversy, said he will be upping the ante for these issues at a parliamentary level. He said that these issues are not about whether his community voted for APNU or not, but it's also about addressing these matters from a nationalistic approach.
To look at this not an APNU problem, it's not a PP problem, it's a Guyana's problem. And therefore, we will tackle it as a Guyanese representative and not only as an APNU representative.
Rupnarayan stated that he and other parliamentarians are dedicated to prioritizing Guyanese interests.
And I feel as though that once we go out there and we do the work in regards of showing the people by putting them first and recognizing that we're representing them based on being all Guyanese, then it will eventually build that bridge and put that trust back into people to rebuild the party eventually.
The former youth parliamentarian expressed his gratitude for the opportunity to be one of APNU's 12 representatives at the 13th sitting of the National Assembly. Even though he came from a low-income family, Rupnarayan noted that his involvement in the People's National Congress reform has shaped him into the person he is today. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Falling rice price on the global market, no subsidy or strategy, spoiled paddy are among issues currently aggravating farmers across Region 2 and caused an uproar that saw many protesting and voicing their frustration.
The government of Guyana is facing a major issue in Region 2, one of its political strongholds, under the very President Irfan Ali and Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa. the issues remain. Farmers contend that there seems to be no strategy to offset their paddy supply since it's only one miller that is currently operable. During the protest, several farmers vented their frustrations. Takur Mizir, who cultivates 155 acres of rice, said the intake process is so slow that farmers wait up to 4 days to offload paddy, causing spoilage in trailers.
We have on record 10 loads of paddy spoiled. We're calling on the government and we're asking them to please start buying paddy through GRDB as they did last crop.
Having knowledge of this recurring issue, President Ali and Minister Mustafa held meetings with farmers in hopes of deriving at an immediate solution.
The mills in Hampton Court and Dry Shore, the guy is offering a facility to rent and that will help the problem. Farmers can get full discharging paddy fast enough.
The meetings thus far seem not to have appeased farmers' fear since they believe the issue is dire and an immediate intervention by the government for their survival is necessary.
The second issue a lot of farmers here face is the price of the paddy. The price of paddy right now in offer at the mill is either 2,300 or 2,200. Farmers cannot go back into the field and plant with that price.
Region 2 farmers are pleading with authorities for assistance and does not see a way forward if the current status quo remains. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Local governance continues to take center stage as visits to neighborhood democratic councils highlight the role they play in community development. Jada June reports.
Newly sworn-in Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Priya Manikchand, visited the Eccles Ramsburg NDC office, the first of several planned across the region. There, she engaged several staff performing essential duties in the communities, where workers were seen executing necessary procedures for the residents of the community.
I met workers who are people who are cleaning up the community. I met workers who are collecting taxes and rates. I met workers who are still distributing the cash grant.
The visit also included a discussion with the NDC overseer, focusing on how council should function and how the physical space of the office itself must reflect the standards of the community aspires to maintain. The message underscored the importance of NDCs leading by example in their operations and presentations.
We had a little chat about how NDCs should function, how this one must function, and how even in this yard and office, we must present what we want the community to look like.
This initiative is part of a broader effort to engage with all 7 NDCs in the region. The goal is to communicate His Excellency President Irfan Ali's vision for local governance and to remind councillors of commitments made by the administration when it assumed office.
That's going to be happening across the country. I intend to meet with all 7 NDCs to express what His Excellency President Ali wants of local governance.
Officials acknowledge that while there is significant work ahead, there is also a strong commitment to tackling the challenges in order to improve community life across the country.
We got some work cut out for us, but looking forward to that challenge.
Jada June reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Live the island dream. It's your chance to be one of over 100 winners in the Island Dream promotion. Win your share of more than $1 million in cash and prizes, plus 2 all-inclusive weekend staycations for 2. And that's not all. Score coolers packed with Buster, Turbo, Altitude, and Viva. Just buy any can or bottle of Turbo, Buster, Altitude, or Viva. Find the code starting with BB. Then visit at Buster Guyana or Turbo_Caribbean on IG or Facebook for details.
Live the island dream, get money. Live the island dream.
Since 2016, I've helped transform classrooms through the Volunteer Youth Corps after-school program. I'm not just a teacher, I am a STEM educator, motivating Guyana's youth to dream big. The best part? Witnessing that aha moment when students grasp a new concept, win an award, or soar to new heights. This is what's possible.
Learn more about Mr. Sidhu's story and how ExxonMobil's investment
investments in STEM education are benefiting students across Guyana at www.exxonmobil.com/what is possible.
Mom, did you tell him that Danny went to pick up KFC?
No, wait a minute. Are we really not going to tell him we already have KFC?
A tasty dinner shouldn't be that complicated. Crunch the routine and order a delicious KFC bucket for the best price. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Good evening and welcome to Thursday's edition of the Regional News. We begin with news in Jamaica. Two of Jamaica's prominent business leaders are hailing the continuity evident in the composition of the 19-member cabinet unveiled by Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness on Wednesday and are urging that he uses this to spur economic growth. The major developments among the appointees are the return of Dr. Andrew Weekly and Robert Monte to the executive after 7 years and 3.5 years absence, respectively, as well as the dropping of Marlene Mahu Port as the Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs. Her responsibilities now reside with Delroy Chuck in what has been renamed the Ministry of Justice, Legal and Constitutional Affairs. Weasley, who resigned as the Minister of Energy, Science and Technology in July of 2018 at the height of the Petrojam scandal, returns as Minister without portfolio in the office of the Prime Minister, responsible for science, technology and special projects. Montague is back after resigning in March 2022 as Minister without portfolio in the office of the Prime Minister, with responsibility for, among other things, the housing portfolio. He resigned in the face of a damning investigation report from the Integrity Commission, which accused him of approving the issuance of gun licenses to a person of questionable character when he was Minister of National Security. Turning attention to news in Haiti, a spokesman for Haiti's National Police said Thursday the officers killed former rebel leader Wilfred Ferdinand after they accused him of opening fire at a police checkpoint in the coastal town of Gonaïves earlier this week. Ferdinand was a suspected gang leader who played a key role in the 2004 uprising that ousted former President Jean Bertrand Aristide. And I quote, "Police had no intention of killing anyone," police spokesman Michel-Ange Louis Jean told the Associated Press of Tuesday's shooting. And finally, with some international news, U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday signaled new action against left-wing groups following the assassination of right-wing political activist Charlie Kirk, targeting the anti-fascist Antifa movement as terrorist organization. Trump said on Truth Social that he was designating the movement as a terrorist organization. "I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices," Trump wrote. It was not clear what legal weight Trump's proclamation carried. Antifa is a loosely organized ideological movement without a clear leadership structure or hierarchy, experts said. Thank you for watching. I am Antonio Day. Goodbye for now.
Let's now join Delwyn Neblat for HGP's Sports Pulse.
Good evening, Guyana. I'm Delwyn Neblat with your HGP TV Sports Pulse for today, Thursday, September 18th, 2025. We begin tonight with hockey. Action resumed last evening in the National Junior Hockey Tournament at the National Gymnasium. Game 1 was a 3-0 victory for the St. Stanislaus High School Sensations over Old Fort in the girls under 17 category, while the second match in the boys under 21 produced a 7-0 thrashing as Old Fort's Shaquan Favorite scored 6 goals and Simeon Moore struck once against the GCC Outlaws. Match number 3 was a competitive 1-1 draw in the Women's Open category as Saints' Kyra Scott and GBTI GCC's Rebecca Ferreira each scored once for their respective sides. Match number 4 produced 12 goals in the Men's Open category. Shaquan Favorites scored a hat-trick and both Daniel Wolford and Jason DeSantos recorded doubles as all 4 delivered a commanding 9-3 victory against the GCC Spare Parts. The final game of the evening was a battling contest in the Open Men's category as Bounty GCC defeated Saints 5-3 on the back of a brilliant hat-trick from Mark Sargent. Dwayne Scott also scored twice in a winning effort. Moving into some cricket news, the Barbados Royals women thumped the Amazon Warriors to retain WCPL title. In a gripping encounter at the National Stadium in Providence on Wednesday, experience prevailed as Chanel Henry led the Barbados Royals women to their 3rd consecutive women's CPL title. Winning the toss and deciding to bowl, the Royals restricted the Warriors to 136 for 3 off of their allotment of 20 overs. Irish batting sensation Amy Hunter continued her good form with a top score of 29 from 36, while Captain Shemaine Campbell and Dane Van Niekerk were both unbeaten on 28 and 27 respectively. Royals bowlers enjoyed equal success as Shamel O'Connell, Ali Alain and Afi Fletcher each chipped in with 1 wicket. When the Royals responded, it was a fight to the end as rising star Ashmini Munasar picked up 3 for 21 to keep the Warriors in the match. However, scores of 31 from both Courtney Webb and Kaisia Knight, as well as 25 from player of the series Shamari Atapatu, would be enough to see the Royals home with just 2 deliveries remaining in the contest. Nyla Latchman also picked up 2 for 32 for the Warriors in a losing effort, but it was player of the match Aaliyah Alain who had the greatest impact on the finals, remaining unbeaten on 17 from just 9 deliveries to see her side home, as well as taking 1 for 32 with the ball. Other individual awards for the season went to Shamari Atapatu for the most runs, while both Ashmini Munasar and Laura Harris jointly received the award for the most wickets. The Royals' record-breaking victory does come as timely emotional support for the camp, since their usual captain and the West Indies women's captain Hayley Matthews also began her surgery yesterday for the shoulder injury which ruled her out of this year's WCPL. More in cricket, wickets tumbled in Providence as the Guyana Amazon Warriors held their nerve to advance to the finals of the biggest party in sport. CPL 2025 action resumed with the first qualifier on Wednesday night as the home side Warriors went up against defending champion St. Lucia Kings. The Warriors, after being sent in, were bowled out for just 157 in 19.5 overs. Ben McDermott top scored with 34 from 27 as Shea Hope added 32 and Romario Shepherd a forceful 21 from just 8 deliveries. Tabriz Shamsi took 3 for 33 from his 4 overs as both David Wisa and Alzori Joseph each picked up 2 wickets for the Kings. In pursuit of 158 to advance to another final, the Kings' top order failed to produce, and despite an even 50 from 29 from Carrie Pierre and 30 from Tamal Mills, were also bowled out for just 143 in 19.1 overs. The Warriors' well-earned 14-run victory came on the back of 4 for 30 from player of the match Gudikish Moti, as Captain Tahir and Dwayne Pretorius also picked up 2 wickets each. The Guyana Amazon Warriors are now through to their 6th finals in 12 seasons as attention shifts to the second qualifier on Friday, where the Kings will have a shot at redemption against the Trinbago Knight Riders and a second chance to qualify for the CPL finals on Sunday. Moving into squash, Guyana's senior men's and women's squash teams have secured their qualification for the 2026 Central and Caribbean Games. Following a strong showing at the recently concluded Pan American Squash Championships in Brazil, the team's placement at the CAC Games scheduled for late July of 2026 in Santo Domingo is a direct result of their impressive performance at the Pan Am Games, and despite a 9th-place finish, Guyana was among the top 5 countries from the CAC region, which guaranteed an automatic spot at the prestigious multi-sport event. Coached by Mr. Raymond Chanasu, Guyana's national squad for the Pan Am Games that was able to secure its qualification for the CAC Games and that will most likely return to Santo Domingo featured the experienced Nicolette Finance, Alex Arjun, Kirsten Gomes, Ashley Khalil, Jason Ray Khalil, Samuel Ince Carvajal, and Mary Fungafat. Moving into badminton, Guyana secured 4 medals at the Carabaco Junior Individual Tournament 2025. Guyana's national junior badminton team proudly brought home 4 bronze medals from the recently concluded Carabaco Junior Individual Tournament held in Bridgetown, Barbados. With the assistance of coaches Akili Haynes and Nkosi Beaton, Team Guyana's medals were earned by Jewel Ramberchi in the boys under 11 singles category. Ramberchi then teamed up with partner Liam Brummel to win bronze in the boys under 11 doubles category. And Mishka Bihari also won a bronze medal in the under 19 mixed doubles category. Now we conclude with football. Lady Jaguars break into CONCACAF top 10 after historic under 20 campaign. The Guyana under-20 women's national team has achieved another historic milestone, breaking into the top 10 of the CONCACAF women's football rankings for the very first time. The Lady Jags climbed from 11th to 10th following their outstanding unbeaten run in the recently concluded CONCACAF under-20 women's qualifiers in February, where they had earned their spot in the playoffs in May. The campaign staged at the Antigua and Barbuda Football Association's Technical Center saw the Lady Jaguars deliver results that will be remembered as defining moments for women's football in Guyana. This landmark achievement is a part of the Federation's collective push towards its long-term vision of breaking into the top 50 in the world, top 10 in CONCACAF, and top 5 in the Caribbean Football Union. The Lady Jaguars' rise reflects a growing foundation of youth development and investment in women's football, proving that Guyana is steadily moving closer to those ambitious goals. With the under-20 Lady Jags leading the way, the future of women's football in Guyana shines bright, and that future also includes the under-14 girls who recently competed in the CFU Challenge Series, where they were unbeaten until the semifinals, further proving that a vibrant new generation is emerging. That's it for this edition of the HGP TV Sports Pulse. I'm Delwyn Neblet, reminding you to stay in the game.
Magistrate blocks a fresh witness statement in election fraud trial. 3 police officers testify on day 25. Trial by public opinion. Magistrate MCGUSTY fires back at Guyana Police Force for its criticism over decision to grant bail. Region 1 mayor under investigation for sexual assault. Attorney writes top cop for an update on investigation. Rice farmers in PPP sees stronghold Region 2 protests current paddy price. Paddy spoilage rampant across region. And in sport, Barbados Royals trump Amazon Warriors to retain women's CPL title. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm ALETHEA Grant. Thanks for watching.